Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching The Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International. It's now time for a second topic of discussion for today. And as we noted earlier in our introduction, we're going to be shedding the light on the inspection tour of President Pacinethe Sisi on the development works and the new axes and roads being implemented in east and west of Alexandria as part of Together to Build a Future initiative, which is carried out under the supervision of the Armed Forces Engineering Authority. Relentless efforts are being exerted in the development of Egypt and under the initiative of President Pacinethe Sisi. And to shed more light on this topic, we're most delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Pacinethe Fahmy, economic expert and a former member of Parliament. A very good morning, Dr. Pacinethe, and a happy Eid to you, your family, and all your beloved ones.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you.
Doctor, first of all, if you can shed the light on the Together to Build a Future initiative, its goals, achievements so far.
Let me tell you something. Actually, I was following what was happening during the last few days. This part of Egypt, meaning the North Coast, is one of the most precious parts you could really invest in all year round, 365 days. First of all, it is the seashore by the Mediterranean. This is a gorgeous area. Second, the climate is very acceptable all over the year as well. Third, the nature. So I think that a big mistake was done in the past in the way this part or this area was developed. And I think that the president now is redesigning the whole area, meaning you cannot have a very small or limited strip of villages by the seashore, closing the seashore in front of everybody, except the people who are owning those areas. And again, the concept of having gated communities in this part of Egypt, again, is not acceptable because the sea belongs to everybody. That's number one. This is the social part. Second, economically, you could invest this part for the best of Egypt, meaning look at the long list of projects we could do there. I was very happy with the decision when Mr. President decided to have the authority of the Al-Alamein city controlling Marina. I hope that the rest of the seashore as well would follow suit, because you need to restructure and replan this area totally. You need to have big investments. Would it be, first of all, touristic throughout the year? Second, the agribusiness, as has been mentioned. Third, structuring new cities where you could create jobs in this area, because this part is not only the seashore, it's not only the beach. It goes back. You could connect to Cairo if you wish, but behind the main road. So I think the structure and the vision Mr. President has to develop this area in a proper manner, I repeat, in a proper manner, because personally, the concept of gated communities and again closing the sea was not a real success. The sea belongs to everybody, like the sky, like the air, but it needs to be structured in a way so that all Egyptians and all levels would benefit from. Number two, this area as well, because of the climate, you could develop agribusiness projects, huge agribusiness projects, like the project Mr. President actually has initiated. Third, on those agribusiness projects and behind the main road, you could have industries related, building new cities. So I think, as he promised, he said that he will develop or he will follow the development of every part of Egypt. It's not going to be only special areas. Now he is concentrating on the North Coast, and this is, again, will have a very positive economic impact on us because we will be able to develop touristic projects throughout the year. We will be able to develop agribusiness projects. We have a Daba project over there as well, on which we could develop electricity and energy projects. So I think it's the main target to develop that part of Egypt, but I repeat, in a professional manner, like what has been done in the past, which was not really a real success in my personal opinion.
Dr. Pacinethe, how do you see also the importance of the development of the roads and axes nationwide and its impact on the Egyptian economy?
Without the roads, without the infrastructure which is going, you cannot have a proper economy. Economy is not done in the air. You need to have access, you need to have roads, you need to have railways, you need to have proper way of communication, you need to have energy. Those are the base. Without the base, you cannot develop Egypt. You cannot develop anywhere in the world. And I was listening a few days ago to the news in the United States. They will redevelop as well their infrastructure because it's a bit old, as they mentioned. So I think building and making those access and roads will enable the Egyptians actually to develop projects all over the place, not only in certain areas designed and enjoying some benefits. So yes, it's an extremely important project, but it is not yet enough. It will continue because it has been left for ages. We have 27 governorates. We need to connect them properly, professionally, if you wish. So it's a mega project, a huge one, but alhamdulillah, it is moving in a positive manner.
Mm-hmm. And to Al Alamein city, Doctor, having a full-fledged city with universities, schools, all the development projects that are ongoing there, in your opinion, do you think it will also have a positive ramification on the economy, Egyptian economy?
Definitely. You need to build cities with all services. Meaning, why I started by saying that the planning for the North Coast was not effective. Because it was only targeting summertime. You cannot have a beautiful place like this one targeting 2 or 3 months in a year. You need to have it used all over the year. So once you start by building new cities like Al Alamein and others, which you have schools, universities, agribusiness, all that type of small and medium-sized projects, you need to develop living areas. You don't need to develop an area where we will visit a month in the year and then we close it the rest of the year, like what is happening in the North Coast. It was not a proper planning, unfortunately. So I think now we will restart on developing that area so that it becomes a living area throughout the year, not only for Egyptians, but I repeat, for tourism. This is a beautiful area. And I repeat as well, the concept of gated communities in that part, I think, in my personal opinion, should be revised. Because you cannot close the sea on specific number of people, no matter would it be 1 million or 2. We are more than 120 million. And then we need to develop tourism to that part. So you need to open it in a proper manner. So I think, yes, we need to have schools, you need to have the universities, you need to have business, small or medium size, you need to have agribusiness as well, and the green economy, as I always mentioned, and the blue economy, because you have the Mediterranean over there. So you can develop the blue economy in a very professional manner with the cooperation with the major multinational companies who are specialized in that field. So I'm very happy, I repeat, that this area will be looked at, redeveloped, replanned for the best of the economy, so that when you say economy, so it's every Egyptian will actually enjoy and benefit from.
Indeed. Doctor, and in your opinion also, how can such similar projects affect the development plan in general in the country?
Look, I always said, when you look at Egypt, we live on less than 10% of our land. This is not acceptable. The 90% of your land are deserts and are left behind. We need to develop every meter so that everyone lives decently. The more you do projects, but the road is still long. I mean, when people are looking at this and some of them are astonished, I said, we still have a long way to go. We need to develop by 2030, we need to reach 30% of Egyptian surface. No, we need to work on the 100% area of Egypt. You cannot leave the land like this, as they call it, no man's land. It needs to be developed. So I think we have a very long way, but we have a long plan of economic development which will help us, will help create jobs for Egyptians. More than 50% of the population are young generation. They need to work, they need to have decent life, education, proper housing, proper services, way of moving. So we still have a long way, because I repeat, up till now, we are only using 10% of our land. So we need to go by 2030, we will reach, inshallah, 30% as planned for, but we need to go further to cover all the Egyptian land. So it's a long way, but the vision is clear. We know how to do it. It will be done by Egyptians, by Egyptian pound finances. This pound goes from a hand to the other. The laborers are Egyptians, engineers. The companies who are supplying the raw material are Egyptians. So it's turning into the economy 24 hours a day, creating jobs, improving standard of living, decreasing the level of poverty, especially with the mega project Mr. President is working on. And this part of Egypt as well is part of this project, because creating decent life all over Egypt, not only in the villages and some governorates. So yes, we have a long way to go, but inshallah, with the 50% of the population, young generation, with a clear vision as well, we will reach what we want to do, inshallah.
Dr. Pacinethe Fahmy, really, as always, really appreciate your insight. Dr. Pacinethe Fahmy, an economic expert and former member of parliament. Thank you so much for joining us on The Breakfast Show. And dear viewers, by this, we wrap up today's episode of The Breakfast Show. Just a quick recap of what we discussed. We talked about how can we spend the summer vacation and the holidays in a positive way. And we also talked about President Fattah al-Sisi's most recent inspection tour of roads and axes as part of the development that's taking place in Egypt. And dear viewers, in the company of myself, Karim Gamal Ad-Din, and my dear colleague Dina Hussein, until we meet again, this is goodbye.